Hi John, I'm taking a look at your draft. For some reason your header is in bold, so make sure you get a hold of that and unbold it. Same here, it's also in bold in here. Okay, abstract looks good. I'm just going over formatting first. Methods, materials, results, discussion, references. You don't need to bold the word references. Make sure you include your images, the images of you, so that it doesn't have to be all of you, just your traits if you don't want to have your whole face in there or whatever, however you want to do it. Oh, you do have one here. Let's see. Does that give us everything? Not the handedness though, right? So, but we've got, okay, good. It looks so different with your hair down. So you're used to seeing with your hair pulled back. Okay, dimples. Okay, why do you have small S's on all of this? If it's widow's peak versus straight hairline. If you both have a straight hairline, then you can't use it. You have to use something where you have different. So we're looking at the earlobes, the dimples, and the handedness. So all we'll be able to see is here is hairline and dimples or no dimples, but you're going to have images making sure that we have all of them, earlobes and handedness. Okay. All right, we went over those in class. Let me look at your abstract. Hi, Johnna. I had to pause that. I had a student come in who needed to speak to me. Okay, let's see. Research my dream mate to determine his genotypes for those traits. Research the research and I use Punnett squares to count. So you use to test the presence of who children would look most of who our offspring would look the most like. Tell us what your hypothesis was as far as who they would look the most like and how it turned out. All of that should actually be in the abstract, even though it's a big spoiler. Let's see. Okay, this is really good. Make sure you're citing all your sources, though. You've got all this written out, but you don't say where the information is coming from. So you need to do your in-text citations, whether it's a direct quote, paraphrased, or summarized, to make sure you have those correctly cited. But this sounds really great. It's very clear. It's very easy to follow what it is that you're saying. Excellent. I believe Punnett square is a capital S too, but double check that. Okay, good. And when you have that, make sure you want to have images for each one. I would save the Punnett squares. I mean, I guess you could talk about them here if you want to. You're also going to want to refer to them in the results section. But talk about the Punnett squares as far as like who's across the top, who's down the sides. So it's very, very clear how you're setting up the Punnett squares. Oh, here we go. Put that a little earlier to make it easier to understand. Okay. In the results section, don't say who it's more likely to be. Just give us the percentages of, so using the Punnett square, that for the trait of dimples versus no dimples, the results were that our child had a, whatever it is, 50% chance of having dimples, or a 75% chance of having dimples. That's how you want to do the results. So take a look at the exemplar that's given to you, and that should help. So you're not going to tell us who, like, which trait is going to be favored toward which person, like as far as your offspring go, until you get to the discussion. That's where you're going to put that in. So you're going to want to do a little bit of rearranging there, and then so you can say, you know, for the dimples versus no dimples, because it was a 75% chance they would have dimples, then for that trait, the offspring have a greater chance of looking like me or inheriting mine or his, you know, however it is. And have that then for each trait and talk about that. Then saying, you know, based on those traits, you know, an offspring would more likely have, you know, you know, have a greater chance of inheriting traits from me or inheriting traits from, you know, your dream mate. So a little bit of reworking, but I would say overall, your writing is very clear. Your writing is at more of a professional level than I'm seeing in a lot of the other papers, which I really appreciate. The fact that you're trying to use the scientific terminology and to communicate at this at a little more of a sophisticated level. So really, really good work on this. Just a little bit of rearranging, just the few things that I asked you to do. And if you have any questions, please get a hold of me.